We're building $184 billion of infrastructure. We're focusing on $70 billion of building roads and bridges and highways. We're focusing on making sure we have the largest transit system in North America. We're building 50 new sites and hospitals or additions to hospitals, spending over $50 billion.
Thank you. Thank you. The supplementary question.
You want to talk about the past? Not even at the height of the Liberals' gas plant scandal has a government been in such disarray. The government said they were going to clean things up. That's what this premier ran on, and now he's embroiled in a scandal that has seen ethics laws broken. 3 cabinet ministers have resigned in disgrace or run for the exits. Staff in the Conservatives' inner circles are leaving under a cloud of suspicion, and they're lawyering up, Speaker. The Premier has said the buck stops with him, so let's hear from him, Speaker. Will the Premier finally come clean and explain his personal involvement in the Greenbelt scandal?
Members will please take their seats. Premier.
Well, thank you to the opposition again. You know, I was very clear on my message on Thursday to the people of Ontario. That's what you call leadership, admitting if there was a mistake, moving forward, and making sure we go on with our agenda. But that is not going to deter us from building 1.5 million homes. And my friends from Arizona probably don't realize that Ontario is leading North America in economic development and trade and growth. We have the fastest growing region right now in North America. We have over 800,000 people coming to Ontario every single year. And they're coming to Ontario because that's where the prosperity is. That's where the jobs are. That's where economic development is. That's where the quality of life is. You want a great life, you come to Ontario. But I can assure the people out there, the new Canadians that are coming here, the young people that the need to afford a home, we're going to build homes. We're going to build affordable, attainable.
Thank you. Thank you. The final supplementary.
Speaker, things are worse today for people in this province than they were 5 years ago. Absolutely. And this premier won't share his phone records. Emails have been deleted in the midst of this scandal. People out there thought something was wrong. And now we have 2 independent officers of the legislature who have confirmed it. The Conservatives rigged the system to benefit their friends. I mean, it's so bad, Speaker, it's so bad that it's being turned over to the RCMP. So, Speaker, my question to the Premier is, has he spoken to the RCMP about the circumstances of the Greenbelt carve-out?
Members will please take their seats. Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, is it better now than it was 5 years ago? It's not a little better. It's not 10% better. It's 1,000 times better on all fronts. It's 1,000 times better. It's 1,000 times better for the 30,000 homes we're building in long-term care when the opposition built 615 years. So 30,600. Again, Mr. Speaker, we're building the transit. We're building 413, the Bradford bypass. We're building Highway 7 and Highway 3 to get goods from point A to point B and people home a lot quicker. Mr. Speaker, as you see us report, some of the health reports that I'm going to see, actually the backlog surgeries are going down. We're pouring money into the new nurses that are coming here. There's 30,000 nurses in our colleges and universities. We saw 15,000 new nurses come on board already, 67,000 since we've been in office, 8,000 new doctors. Mr. Speaker, I could spend another half an hour telling you why the province is 1,000 times better now than it was 5.
Stop the clock. Members will please take their seats. Restart the clock. The next question, once again, the Leader of the Opposition.
The Premier, maybe if the Premier had spent more time listening to people this summer, people who've seen their emergency rooms closed, kids who can't get treatment with the autism program, people who were fighting forest fires all across this province, maybe he'd have learned something and he wouldn't have spent his summer divvying up the spoils. to his friends. This afternoon, I'm going to be tabling the Greenbelt Restoration Act, the official opposition NDP's bill to restore and protect all of the lands this government removed from the Greenbelt, a solution that the Premier finally agrees is the right thing to do. We must restore integrity to government, Premier. We're going to be calling for unanimous consent of this House, so to the Premier, Ontarians will be watching. Will he pass our legislation to restore and protect lands in the Greenbelt?
Members will please take your seat. Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. To be very clear, Mr. Speaker, no, we will not be supporting the member's legislation. Obviously, we have not seen the legislation, so we would never provide unanimous consent to something that we have not seen. But to be very clear, we will be voting against that legislation today, Mr. Speaker. I will be bringing forward legislation very soon, which will not only return the lands, but ensure that an additional 7,000 acres of land are put into the Greenbelt. And we will go one step further, Mr. Speaker. We will codify in legislation the boundaries of the Greenbelt, Mr. Speaker, so that it is protected through legislation and not through regulation. So no, we will not be supporting the member's legislative piece today, because we're going to go further and we're going to do what has never been done in this province before.
Response?
We will protect the Greenbelt once and for all.
Supplementary question.
Speaker, why would anyone trust this government to fix a disaster of their own making? There are still so many questions, Speaker, that this Premier and this government refuse to answer in this $8.3 billion scandal. So back to the Premier. How did these speculators know to give your office the details about the parcels of land to remove from the Greenbelt before it was announced to the public? Who tipped them off?
Members will please take their seats. Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the reality is that both the Auditor General and the Information Commissioner, the Integrity Commissioner have reported on that, Mr. Speaker. But what the reality is that the NDP and the Liberals continue to double down on policies that have put Ontario into a housing crisis. We have been working for 5 years to untangle the mess that was the opposition policies on housing. In fact, Mr. Speaker, in the member's own riding, where average income is about $55,000 a year, the average house price is about $1.1 million. It would take somebody $80,000 in mortgage payments just to afford that home. And what does the member opposite do? She continues to support policies that would take all of the people in her riding out of the ability to own a home, Mr. Speaker. We are going to double down on policies that help build houses for people across the province of Ontario. Make no mistake, we'll get the job done.
Stop the clock. Restart the clock. The final supplementary.
Speaker, not only did it take 2 scathing reports and unprecedented resignations to force this Premier to do the right thing, not only did he allow the housing crisis to get worse, yes, worse, while this scandal expanded, but he's put our province in a position where we could be on the hook for billions. Speaker, back to the Premier. How much is this government's Greenbelt disaster going to cost Ontario's taxpayers?
Members will please take their seats. Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Nothing, Mr. Speaker. We will be presenting a bill later on this week which will ensure that the people of the province of Ontario are focused on what matters to them, building houses for the people of the province of Ontario. She talks about us adding on to the housing crisis. It's unbelievable to me, Mr. Speaker. We have seen, because of the policies of this government, housing starts at the highest level in over 30 years, right? And it's not just single-family. It's not just single-family homes, Mr. Speaker. It is purpose-built rental that, under their policies, came to a halt for over 30 years, Mr. Speaker. This is a party with the Liberals that double down on increasing taxes for the people of the province of Ontario. Year after year after year, they think that increasing taxes somehow encourages an economy to grow. We have shown that by reducing taxes, cutting red tape, and investing in priorities of people, 700,000 jobs come back and the economy booms, and now we're going to get it done in housing as well.
The next question, the member for Niagara Centre.
Speaker, through you to the Premier, the same favoured insiders who received preferential treatment in the Greenbelt decision are also benefiting from shady backroom deals for MZOs, urban boundary expansions, and Highway 413. Will this government stop paving over protected farmland to enrich its friends?
Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
So let's unpack that if we can. So MZOs were requested by municipal partners for the most part, right? Our municipal partners asked us. Now, where we didn't get requests from municipal partners is when I was the Minister of Long-Term Care. We now have a great Minister of Long-Term Care. When I was the Minister of Long-Term Care, we actually had municipalities, Port Hope for instance, that actually refused to give us long-term care homes. So I went to the minister and I said, give me an MZO because I want to close down 30, 40, 50-year-old long-term care homes that aren't sprinklered and build brand new ones. I won't apologize for doing that. I'll continue to do it, Mr. Speaker, whether it's for long-term care homes, whether it's for the Minister of Colleges and Universities who wants to build dormitories for students. I'm going to double down and I'm going to make sure that we build that housing not only for seniors, not only for young families, but for students in his area and in all parts of this province.
The supplementary question, member for Hamilton West, Ancaster Dundas.
Mr. Speaker, I can assure the minister that the City of Hamilton did not request that you meddle with our urban plan. I have been ringing the alarm about this government's backroom deals for urban sprawl in Hamilton for months now. The Integrity Commission's report revealed that the same developers who successfully influenced the Ford government...
Okay, getting a real sense of what things are like as MPPs are back for the fall sitting of Parliament. This is the first question period, and of course it is being dominated by the Greenbelt scandal, or reversal, depending on sort of how you see and watch this. The opposition really going after the PC government for what happened over the last several weeks with the Greenbelt, land going out, land going back in, the reversal, etc. So lots of questions about that, but you can see the PC's really defiant here, saying, you know, they're going to continue to do what they can to continue to build houses for Ontarians. So we will have much more, of course, from Queen's Park and inside what's happened at question period.